Now let us talk about operator overloading and copy constructors. In this, we are going to study about overloading and operators. Then we are going to see how we can combine them to create easier to read code that would utilize operators we have been using quite often. We'll also see how copy constructors are used and difference between this shallow and deep copying. These are two important questions generally asked in interview also. So overloading and operators, this function overloading, what does it mean? It simply means that we have multiple functions. They are share a name. They all have same name, but they differ by the parameters they are using. For example, we will write minimum like this, minimum like this. There are two functions, minimum, minimum, same name. But you can very well verify that the parameters are different. So it depends that we have overloaded the minimum function, and doing this it is all acceptable to the user as the arguments which the two functions will use will actually call or say which function is to be used. Only when you want to or you would like to try these two functions with a similar exact signature, then you will be in some problem like this. Okay, this is boolean, this is void. Now if you call FOOA, this FOOA on an integer a, the compiler wouldn't know which of the two functions you mean because both of them has integer inside. So it won't let you write this code even in the first place. Overloading is nothing but having multiple functions of similar name as we suggested, and operators are simple like double is equal to, not equal to, assignment, all these like multiplication and dereferencing, all these are your operators. These are the symbols. Some operators are binary, that is they would take two values, left hand side, right hand side, to do some type of computation. But there are some unary also, like not, like plus plus, this dereferencing operator that will take only one argument. And for operators, C++ knows where the arguments go. And for these many operators, one argument goes before the operator, the other will be after. Let us take an example. For this AI, one argument goes in the middle of the operator. Using this operator is really just shorthand for calling a function. So what we are actually doing is A, this is again an operator or a symbol, this is again a symbol, and then this is I and A. So what form does it take? That the compiler understands that what you are trying to do. You are just using an array with some index. And when you write something like this, A1 is equal to A2, they are equal, it will actually be read as if operator, what operator? That is, this operator will tell either this is true or false. If A1 equal to A2, this A1 A2 is equal to, if this operator is equal to, says A1 and A2 are equal, then we will saying they are equal. So I'm not saying that this will be converted, this line will be converted like this. I'm just saying that this is going to be looked like this by the compiler. But I must tell you one thing, that you could really replace this second line with this to get the result. There will be no problem. The reason you don't do that is that it will be harder to understand and read. So operator overloading is just what some people call as syntactic sugar. Syntactic sugar of as a synonym to operator overloading. And because the parts of the programming language that don't really add functionality or even necessarily good coding practices like code you use, but just make your code look prettier. So operator overloading is an integral part of C++, and we'll see how it helps in your data structure stuff. Let us take for example, we have x and y, these are the variables of some class, and you have written by yourself, like if x is greater than 0, y plus plus. else if this, y equal to 0, else y minus minus. This is much easier to read than this one. Okay, you can have various functions, you can call, in this way also you can call. These syntax of operators does tell you how to override operators in general. So all you need to do is to overload a function whose name is the word operator followed by the operator itself. If you want to override, say, this star or operator, we usually use them in dereferencing to allow multiplying a number, because we use it for multiplication by a string. You want to do multiplication, define it to mean concatenating that many copies of the string. We would like to do something like this: string operator star, then you pass n in string x. So what it exactly does is, from 0 to n, it adds s, the string add x. So actually it is concatenating. So we would now write something like 5 star and hello, or cout operator star 5 hello. So only by using this operator this function may be utilized. But what about operator overloading with classes? Till now, most frequently the operator overloading is in the context of defining new classes. If you define your own class for complex numbers per se, you would want to overload the arithmetic operation, equality test, assignment, and few others you would like to overload. Almost any class you define, you would likely want to overload the assignment operator for equality test. Also this one, so that you can easily print to a file, or you can have some separate print functions to print to cout and car and files. So the syntax for operator overloading can be like this in classes. Just consider we had declared a class int array, which stores the size of the array and an integer of integers internally. This is what we want to do. So now we want to add a handful of operators. How? We have this class int array. They for binary operators. Pattern is return type operator, this right hand side data, whichever you want. For example, you have this bool operator, this is equality, constant int array and other array. Means you are passing an array type, int array type. So if this size is not equal to others array dot size, we return false. Else what we do? We just do the thing which we intend by this statement. And we can also use int ampersand, because this is what we don't want to return. And this is operator, square bracket, int index, return data index. This also you can do. And for unary operator, you can have pattern something like this: return type operator. Let us take an example. This is what return type is. You have operator, this is operator keyword, and then you can have an operator of plus, that is a unary type. What you can do is you can use a for loop to increment the data I plus plus and then return this, means int array, the present object. And inside this you can have some int size and int star data. This is how you can very well use the possibility and beauty of operator overloading. Now once you have devised this, once you have made this, you can easily write something like this: int array first array, second array, and you can easily check if first array is equal to second array, you just increment first array, and second array 0 equal to, you can assign a value. Or you can have some shorthand for this particular thing like this: if first array dot operator is equal to second array, first array dot operator plus plus, and second array dot operator is equal to 0. Then we need to consider that why we have this plus plus written star this. You might have thought when I was explaining this star this, why can't we have a void? We can, but then we couldn't write things like cout plus plus, because the type of plus plus a would be void. That is why we would require star this. And secondly, why did this operator plus plus return its result by reference? Why it was like this, int ampersand? The reason is that we want to be able to overwrite it. We want that it has to be changed If we return it by a value, the overwriting will not be possible. So one type of operator we would frequently evaluate in this assignment operator, since we routinely want to write something like x equal to y for objects for our own newly defined class. So a few interesting issues come up. We will see about these to define when we talk about assignment operators. Let's try with this class int array. Int array ampersand operator is equal to, we are trying to do this, and we say this size, other size array, then this data new int this size, and again we are using this size, this data equal to this, and return this. So we just copied that particular stuff, and we make the assignment operator return int array ampersand instead of void. The reason is somewhat similar to what we discussed about plus plus operator. It allows us to write statements such as a equal to b equal to c, which we generally do, and we can write b equal to c. What comes out must also be of the type that can be assigned to a, right? However, this is something else we should think of this code. What it can be, our class int array has dynamically allocated data. See, there is a dynamic allocation, and when we write this data is equal to new int size, this particular thing, this one, we create a memory link. We have to deallocate the old data object before making this assignment. Okay. For that, we may add the statement this delete square bracket data as the first line of our operator, but it is not so good, because you may think about what happens when we write statement a equal to a. This is not necessarily a very useful statement to write. You are not going to write it anyways. You wouldn't want it to break someone else's code because you have wrong implementation of the operator. And what happens now is that first you delete all the data inside a, then try to copy that what we have deleted stuff to a. So you will just copy garbage and likely get a some fault and strange behavior. So for that you should do it. First check that what you are not assigning an object to itself, and once you have ensured that it's safe to deallocate the old data in the object, you are assigning to then copy over the data from the other object. This means we should also add a first line that if this not equal to ampersand other array. Okay, this might seem somewhat difficult to understand, but don't worry. Try to learn it again. It will be quite easy to absorb. Thank you.